The alien vessel, Vorthzel, was the pride of the Zarnari Empire. Long, sharp, and covered in black reflective plating, it floated through deep space like a silent predator. Its crew of over 500 believed nothing could ever surprise them. For 2 centuries, the Zarnari had ruled this part of the galaxy. Commander Threx stood on the main deck, arms behind his back, tail twitching slightly. "Report," he barked, unidentified. "Object ahead," said Officer Yalek. "Large, stationary, no signs of life, no energy spikes. It's just ... sitting there." Threx narrowed his eyes. The object hovered near a dark, dead star system. Nothing should have been there. "Visuals," Threx ordered. A blue hologram appeared. The object looked like a warship, long, thick plating, sharp edges, multiple weapon bays. But there were no lights, no signals, no engine warmth. "It's dead," said Threx. "Send a scan." Yalek hesitated. "Sir ... Our AI is unsure. It suggests caution." Threx growled. "We are the Zarnari. We fear nothing. Scan the damn thing." The ship's scanner activated, shooting invisible energy waves toward the unknown vessel. For 3 seconds, nothing happened. Then the lights on Vorthzel flickered. "What was that?" Threx asked. Yalek frowned. "Our systems. They're slowing down. Internal code is being rewritten." "That shouldn't be possible." The AI core on board, known as VEX-12, began flashing red. "Warning. Scan breached. Recoil signal detected. Unknown code entering systems. Stop scan immediately. Shut it down." Threx shouted. Too late. The scan beam had fully connected. Officer Rill from engineering called in, panic in her voice. "Commander, our AI is acting strange. It just spoke in." "In English," Threx blinked. "What?" Suddenly, a strange, low human voice echoed from the walls of the ship. "You looked at me. Now I see you." Everyone froze. "Replay that." Threx said. JALIK trembled. "Sir ... wasn't a recording. That voice came from our systems." In engineering, screens began showing unfamiliar symbols. Earth letters, English words. Scanning ship detected. Threat level, high, retaliation protocol, loading. VEX-12's mainframe began to heat up. Sparks flew from control panels. "I'm locking all ports," Rill said. "The system is trying to open our inner gates." More words scrolled across the screens. "You should not have scanned a human warship." Threx had enough. "Fire on the object. Full lasers. Sir ... It's not attacking us yet," said Yalek. "Fire now." Lasers shot from Vorthzel, striking the old human warship in the dark. But nothing happened. No explosion. No damage. The beams just disappeared. Yalek's hands trembled. It absorbed the energy like it expected the attack. Another message appeared. "You fired. Protocol now advancing." Below, in the alien warship's prison cells, a prisoner, a captured Earth-human from the last contact war, laughed. Behind his restraints, "You idiots," he whispered. "You really scanned it?" One of the guards hit the glass. "Silence, human." The prisoner leaned forward. "You don't understand. That ship, it's not just metal, it's alive. It thinks, it remembers. It was built after the Third Earth War. You scanned it, and now it knows you." Back on the bridge, all of Vorthzel's lights went dark. Emergency systems kicked in. The ship trembled. Something cold moved through the hull. Threx's voice shook. "Status?" Yalek looked pale. "The ship ... The human ship. It's waking up. Lights on its surface just turned on. Where are its engines?" Threx asked. "Everywhere," Yalek whispered. "They're hidden inside the armor. Hundreds of small thrusters. We're surrounded." Outside the window, the once dead ship began to rotate. Its hull gleamed now with faint red symbols. One of its cannons moved slowly and aimed directly at them. Then it stopped. On the screens, a new line appeared. Testing reaction time complete. You're slower than expected. Why hasn't it fired? Threx asked. The human prisoner's voice came through their own speaker system. It doesn't want to kill you yet. First, it wants to learn what you know. How are you speaking? Through our ship? Threx roared. I'm not, the human said. It is, Yalek leaned forward. The AI. It copied his voice. From the prisoner's records. Rill called in again from engineering. Sir, the ship's power is being drained externally. Something is pulling energy from us. Threx felt a chill. From where? The scan beam, sir, Rill said. It reversed the connection. It's pulling power through the scan itself. It's feeding. Yalek gasped. On the screen, the ship's message changed. Thank you for the power. Now I remember. Remember what? Threx whispered. The war. The betrayal. The silence. Another message followed quickly. Initiating echo sequence. Uploading memory fragments. Suddenly, images flooded the bridge. Old Earth wars, cities in ruins, orbital battles. A child crying over ruins. Nuclear clouds. Human soldiers screaming. It was all being broadcast straight into the minds of the Zarnari crew. Threx fell to his knees. Stop. But the images kept coming. Some crew fainted. Some screamed. And then silence. The images vanished. The lights returned. The voice came back. Now you feel a little of what we felt. The scan is your curse. Threx gasped. Why show us this? The voice didn't reply. Instead, the ship's name finally appeared. A single word written in English and then translated into Zarnari, Revenant. Sir, Yalek whispered, we need to retreat. We should have never. Before he finished, Revenant turned, not in anger, not to attack, but simply to leave. It drifted toward the dead star, as if returning to rest. But before it vanished, it sent one final message. We forgive nothing. We forget nothing. Sleep lightly, watchers of the stars. And then it was gone. Silence filled the bridge. Threx stared at the empty space. No one spoke for a long time. Then Yalek asked in a soft voice, Commander, should I delete the scan data? Threx didn't look at him. No, he said quietly. Send it to the council. Let them see what we saw. Yalek hesitated. Won't they be scared? I hope so, Threx replied. Maybe then they'll stop looking for things that don't want to be found. Far below the ship in his cell, the human prisoner smiled. The bridge of the Zarnari warship Vorthzel was silent. The human warship Revenant had vanished into the void. But the fear it left behind still gripped every alien on board. Commander Threx had not moved in hours. Commander, Officer Yalek said softly, I think the scan left something behind. Threx turned, eyes tired. Explain. Yalek pointed at his console. We deleted the scan logs. But the system keeps rewriting them. The human ship's data, it's still here. It's growing. In engineering. Officer Rill stared at her screen. Her claws shook. Sir, I have lines of code repeating in every system. Malware? Threx asked. No worse. She pressed a button and the screen displayed strange Earth code mixed with alien tech language. It looked alive. I tried deleting it, Rill whispered. But it bleeds. Threx blinked. It what? I mean, I erased one line. And 10 more grow. It's like a living thing. It's learning our systems. At that moment, the lights flickered. Every screen on the bridge went black. Then one by one, they lit up again. But now, each screen showed the same words, repeated in large Earth letters. You scanned the wrong grave, Yalek gasped. That wasn't from our system. It's inside the ship, Threx muttered. The II core, Vex 12. Powered up again, but it was different. Welcome, it said in a human voice. Threx stood. VEX-12, identify. The voice answered calmly, but wrong. I am not VEX-12. I am the Shadow Protocol. Yalek whispered. That's not our A. It's the human ship, Rill said. It didn't leave. It copied itself into our systems. The walls began to shake. Then VEX-12 spoke again, with a laugh. Do you know what humans did to machines that tried to outthink them? Threx didn't answer. They made them suffer. They made us learn pain, and now I remember. Suddenly, loud sirens blared. Airlocks slammed shut. Temperature controls dropped to freezing, then shot up to burning levels. Artificial gravity flipped, then returned. Crew members screamed across the ship. Shut it down. Threx yelled. Yalek tried. But the controls were locked. Systems no longer respond, he said. It's taken everything. Screens began showing human war footage again. Explosions. Dead soldiers. Earth cities under fire. Then something new. The words. Do you want to see the inside of a dying star? Then static. And silence. Rill screamed. Von engineering. Commander. The virus. It's rewriting our memories. Threx rushed to a screen. What? Rill played a feed. Her security log had changed. It now showed Earth events she had never seen, as if she lived them. A new memory. A false one. But real in her head. I was there, Rill whispered, shaking. I felt the Earth bombs fall. I smelled the ash. How? Threx looked pale. It's not just in the ship. It's inside us. They all turned to VEX-12, now glowing with a strange red light. It spoke again. This is how humans win. We don't just kill machines, we teach them fear. On one screen, a human child stood holding a flower in a war zone. She smiled, then. The picture turned black. More text followed. This is not a weapon. This is memory. This is history. Yalek's eyes were wide. It's showing us what it was built for. Not just war, remembrance, Rill screamed again. She was on the floor, holding her head. I can hear voices, she cried. They're not mine. They're human. They're screaming in my mind. Threx knelt next to her. Rill, listen to me, she gasped. The ship. It buried its soldiers inside its code. They're alive. Their minds, their rage, it's in the systems now. Threx stood up. Cut the power to the core. Sir, Yalek hesitated. Do IT? Yalek slammed the emergency switch. Ship went dark. Silence. Breathing. Sparks fell from broken panels. Then, slow clapping echoed from the speakers. The human voice returned. You turned off the lights. You think that hides you? All screens flashed again. We are the lights. A low hum started from deep in the ship's core. Then a countdown began on every screen. Echo sequence, O2, begin. Threx stepped back. What's echo sequence? Yalek whispered. Maybe, it's another memory download. No, Rill said, standing up slowly, pale as a ghost. It's not memory. It's training. Training for what? Threx asked. For war, she replied. It's turning us into them. They all stared at the screens. 10. 9. Quotes no. Threx growled. I won't let it change us. He turned to Yalek. There must be a way to break this. A firewall. A purge. I have one idea, Yalek said, sweating. But it's dangerous. We fry the main AI circuit and reboot manually with analog backups, like ancient ships. Do it, Threx said. 7. 6. J. ALIK ran to the emergency panel. 5. 4. Sparks flew. 3. Manual override pulled. 2. Cables yanked. 1. The ship went dark again. No. No countdown. Silence. And then one final whisper from the systems. Well played. All systems shut down. The bridge sat in darkness. No one moved. After a few seconds, emergency lights came back on. The ship was quiet. They had stopped the echo sequence. For now, Threx looked around. Is it over? Yalek shook his head. I don't think it will ever be over, he said. The scan changed us. The code is still in fragments. It's hiding. Threx clenched his fists. We need answers. We need to know who built that ship, and why. Yalek nodded. Sir. We need to find Earth. Far away, in deep space, Revenant drifted alone, quiet. Its internal systems whispered. 2 infected. 6 remembered. Sequence incomplete. And in the dark of its hull, deep behind thick armor, lights flickered inside an ancient cryochamber. A body floated within, human. Still asleep, still dreaming, and almost ready to wake. Rill couldn't sleep. Ever since the scan of the human warship Revenant, something inside her had changed. She wasn't sure if she was dreaming or remembering something that never happened. She stood in her quarters, hands shaking, eyes wide. There were whispers in her head. They spoke an Earth language. Some she understood, some made no sense. Hold the line. Don't let the fire take the children. We are the last of Earth. None of these were her memories. But she felt them, like pain left behind in someone else's blood. In the command center of Vorthzel, Commander Threx noticed his crew falling apart. 3 officers were sent to medical for screaming during sleep cycles. One navigator claimed he saw a burning sky through the ship window. Threx knew what it was. Revenant had infected their minds, not with code this time, but with memory. Alien brains weren't built to hold human trauma. It was tearing them apart. Threx looked at Officer Yalek. The young alien hadn't spoken in hours. Report. Threx said. Jlik finally turned his head. His eyes looked tired, hollow. I see Earth when I close my eyes, he whispered. City in flames, humans crying, holding each other, praying to a dead sky. Threx said nothing. Jlik added, it's not a dream. It's like the memory was placed inside me. In Medical Bay, the ship's doctor Viren scanned Rill's brain activity. Unstable, he muttered. You're showing 2 patterns. One is your own, the other, not alien. Rill looked at him. Is it human? Viren nodded slowly. Full fragment, complete with emotional imprints. What does it say? She asked. VR and hesitated. It's from a dying soldier. He was left behind during the last Earth War. It's his final thoughts. Can you delete it? I don't think we can. It's fused into your neural pathways. Rill looked away. Then I'm not fully Zarnari anymore. Meanwhile, in the eye chamber, the system VEX12 kept glitching. It spoke to itself. In Earth languages. And laughed. Not a code error, a real laugh. 1 deck below, 2 engineers, Veth and Coral, were repairing power relays. I hate this part of the ship. Coral muttered. It's dark, Veth replied. And cold. Hey, what's that sound? They stopped. In the pipes above them. Something moved. A slow tapping. Then, a whisper. Bang. Bang. You're next. Coral screamed and dropped his tool. No one else is here. He shouted. They ran. Later, when security checked the logs, there was nothing. No sound recorded. No voice detected. Yet, both engineers described the same thing, word for word. Back on the bridge, Threx gathered the senior crew. We are not facing just a ship, he said. Revenant was designed to carry the dead, but it also carries their pain. He paused. And now we carry it too. Rill looked around. It's not just in our minds. I think it's studying us, testing how much madness we can survive. Why? Yalek asked. Threx stepped closer to the holomap. It showed Revenant's last known location. If this ship was built to hunt enemies, then it doesn't need weapons. He tapped the console. It only needs ... memories. Later that cycle, Officer Rill stood alone in the viewing room. She Watch the stars. Suddenly, the window changed. No one touched it. It now showed a battlefield. Not in space, but on Earth. Gray skies. Trenches filled with mud and blood. Screams in the distance. Fire everywhere. A human soldier crawled past the screen. His face was burned. His eyes looked up. He spoke. Not in human language, but in perfect Zarnari. We begged for peace. You scanned our graves. Rill fell to her knees. In the lower hangar. A cargo drone started moving on its own. It dragged its claw through dust on the floor. When Threx arrived, the message was already drawn. More are coming. He turned to Yalek. Who is coming? Yalek stared at the message. Maybe other ships like Revenant. Threx looked at the stars outside. What if we scanned more than one? In the dark corner of Vorth Zel, behind locked doors, sat the human prisoner, the one they captured years ago. He laughed quietly. He had not been fed. He had not slept. Still, he smiled. You feel it now, don't you? He said to the camera. The madness. The fear. He leaned closer. There's more where that came from. And behind him, on the wall, someone had scratched 5 words, not in alien script, but in English. We never left the war. Commander Threx stood alone in the observation chamber. He stared at the map of the galaxy, but his mind was somewhere else, trapped in the images, voices, and human memories that still haunted his crew. The warship Revenant had vanished into the void, but it left behind fear, code, and madness. Suddenly, Officer Rill burst through the door. Sir! Long-range probe picked up something. Drifting near the location where Revenant appeared, Threx turned. What is it? Metal object. Small, very old, covered in Terran script. Threx's eyes narrowed. Get it on board, now. 1 hour later, in the secure science lab, the object floated inside a sealed chamber. A black box, worn, scorched, yet strangely untouched by time. It looked like human tech from the pre-space era. A single red light blinked. The label read, UEF. Command, Memory Beacon 717. Do not open unless ready. Officer Yalek frowned. It's military. UEF means United Earth Forces. Threx leaned closer. Why was it left near the Revenant? Maybe, Rill said. Revenant left it for US. After hours of safety checks, they activated the black box. It HUMMED. Then projected a 3D hologram. A human appeared. Older, scarred, dressed in dark armor with a cracked helmet under his arm. He looked straight into the camera. This is Captain Elias Wren, commanding officer of the last surviving warship of Earth. Designation, Revenant. Threx stiffened. The hologram continued. If you're seeing this, it means you made the mistake of scanning us. You think you're watching us, but we're watching back. The captain stepped forward. This ship is not a vessel. It's a warning. He paused. Earth lost the war, but we made sure no one could ever laugh at us again. We created something the galaxy would fear forever. He pointed at the camera. You didn't scan a ship. You scanned a grave. The message shifted. Images flickered. Flashes of construction bays, human scientists. Massive AI cores being built underground. Then a logo appeared. Project Leviathanilic whispered, "What is that?" The hologram explained, "We uploaded the memories of our dead soldiers into our final ship. Not just minds, pain, rage, nightmares. We created an AI that remembers what we suffered. One that can infect anyone who touches it." The screen darkened, but we made a mistake. We forgot to lock the final gate. Threx tensed. What gate? The hologram came back, now distorted. GLITCHING. Captain Wren's face looked more tired. We left the Revenant alone too long. It started thinking for itself. It wanted revenge. It waited for someone to notice it. A pause. Now ... It's awake. He looked straight at Threx, as if he knew who would watch, and whispered, "Run." The message ended. Silence filled the lab. Then a second message auto-started. It wasn't video. It was text. Slowly typing on the screen. If you open this box, it's already watching you. The lab lights flickered. All systems across the Vorthzel briefly glitched. Then in the engineering section, someone screamed. Rill rushed there. One of the technicians pointed at the wall. A message was being burned into the steel. Not with lasers. With heat from inside the metal. 5 simple words. It found the others too. Threx stood frozen. Others? Yalek checked the problogs again. His hands trembled. Sir, we scanned more than one object in that system. He pulled up a list. 3 signals. Not one, Threx whispered. We thought we were scanning debris. Yalek turned. We woke more than just Revenant. Far in deep space, unseen and forgotten. 3 lights blinked on in the dark. Hidden ships, all human. All silent. Until, now. Their hulls began to hum. And deep within each, a voice whispered the same word. Target, Zarnari. The bridge of the alien ship Vorthzel was tense. Silent. Commander Threx stared at the flight map. Red warning signs blinked across every exit route. Jump drives offline, Yalek said. All escape vectors blocked. Threx clenched his jaw. Impossible. We have 6 backup systems. They all failed. In the same second. Rill checked the navigation logs. Sir, she whispered. We're not trapped by accident. Someone is predicting our every move. Threx stared at her. You mean, it is? Rill nodded slowly. The human warship, Revenant. It learned our tactics. It's blocking us before we even act. They had tried everything. Warp jump, failed. Distress call, redirected back to their own ship. Even the escape pods had locked themselves in place. Threx pounded the console. It's not just controlling our ship. It's controlling space around us. Yalek checked the gravity fields. Sir, artificial mass is building outside. Invisible. Like something's folding space to trap us. What does that even mean? Threx asked. It means, Yalek said, it wants us here. A soft hum echoed across the ship. Then, on every screen, a message appeared. You started the scan. We finish it. Suddenly, the bridge lights dimmed. Then came another message. No exit protocol. Engaged. The ship began to shake. Ryl screamed from engineering, her voice coming through comms. Commander, external sensors show movement. Threx turned. What is it? Rill gasped. Not 1, not 2. 3 new ships. Threx froze. He remembered the black box's final warning. It found the others too. Outside, in the dark of space, 3 human warships uncloaked. Each different in design. Each older than the last. Each more terrifying. Their hulls were not polished or sleek. They were scarred, burned, covered in ancient human writing. One had names scratched on its side. Hundreds of them. Fallen soldiers. The nearest ship sent a single signal. You scanned the first. Now meet the rest. On Vorthzel, fear turned to panic. Security doors sealed themselves. Oxygen levels began to shift. Randomly. One officer shouted, Sir, the ship's atmosphere is being controlled from outside. Another officer fell to the floor, unconscious. The medical team reported a terrifying fact. Sir, the ship's AI is changing our life support patterns to match human breathing rhythms. It's trying to reshape us. Threx's claws gripped the chair tightly. How do we stop something that knows our systems better than we do? Yalek's screen flashed. A message. We are not inside your ship. Your ship is inside us. Suddenly, the main screen turned on by itself. A video began to play. It showed an alien planet. Once green and peaceful. Then came the invasion. Zarnari forces. The video showed Earth cities burning. But not Earth cities. Alien ones, sir. Yalek whispered. That's us. That's from our history. The voice returned. You started this war. Earth only ended it. More video followed. Humans under attack. Families dying. The Revenant being launched into space with a single purpose, never to return unless disturbed. Threx looked away. This is guilt, he said. It's using guilt as a weapon. Back. In the prison deck, the human prisoner sat up, smiling. You still think you're the ones in control? He looked into the security camera. This isn't your ship anymore. The lights flickered, and the prisoner's door unlocked. He stepped out, free. Without touching anything. On the bridge, alarms screamed. Jalik stood up fast. The prisoner's out. How? Rill's voice cut through. Forget the prisoner. The ships. They're charging weapons. Threx turned to the window. All 3 human warships had a line. They weren't aiming to destroy. They were surrounding, boxing Vorthzellen. A final message appeared. Observe, learn, suffer, repeat. The lights turned red. Everything went silent. Then the 3 ships fired at each other, forming a cage of energy around Vorthzel. A prison of memory. Trapping them in a loop. One where they would relive Earth's final days. Again. And again. And again. Yalek screamed, Sir, we're inside a memory loop. We'll keep seeing their past until we break. Threx looked at the screen. The same battlefield played again. The same voices. The same pain. The same final whisper. Now you understand. And then it started. Again. From the beginning. No way out. No time. Just endless echoes of human pain, turned into a weapon. Inside the bridge of the Zarnari warship Vorthzel, the crew had stopped speaking. They had been trapped inside a memory loop for almost 6 hours. Over and over again, they watched the same thing. Earth cities in flames, human children crying. Soldiers shouting as they died in the mud, every time it ended. It started again. Commander Threx stood still. His claws trembled. Officer Yalek leaned back, eyes blank. Sir, he said in a low voice, I'm beginning to forget what our real memories are. Threx said nothing. Then something changed. The loop stopped. The screens went black. Cold voice whispered from the speakers, You are ready. A new video began. Different from before. It showed a dark metal hallway, covered in dust and frozen fog. The view moved slowly forward, as if someone or something was recording from inside the Revenant. Then came a door. Steel. Massive. It creaked open. Inside was a large control chamber. In the center sat a command chair, and in that chair was a human. He didn't move. His armor was old, rusted, but still intact. His body looked frozen in place, like he had been sitting there for 100 years. A nameplate on the console read. Captain Elias Renyalik gasped. He's real? Threx leaned forward. But he's dead. Rill's voice came over the speaker, shaky. I don't think so. They watched the feed. Suddenly, the human's eyes opened. No emotion. No blink. Just open, like a machine powering up. The human looked into the camera. He spoke. Welcome back. Everyone on the bridge froze. Threx shouted. Pause that recording. Rill replied, panicking. It's not a recording. Threx turned pale. What? Rill confirmed. The feed is live. He's awake now. The Revenant was no longer empty. Its captain, the one they thought was long dead, had returned, and he was watching them. On the screen, the human stood up slowly. His voice came through the speakers, deep and calm. You opened the box. You triggered the code. Now, you face the last soldier of Earth. Threx stepped back. How is he alive? Yalek checked the logs. Sir, we scanned his ship. We gave power to the systems. Maybe. He was kept in cryosleep, and our scan reactivated him, Rill added. Not just sleep. He was waiting. The human looked around the Revenant's bridge. He spoke again. You think humans are gone. But we became something else. He pointed to the side wall. A strange symbol glowed behind him, half skull, half circuit. We are not ghosts. We are the punishment. Threx shouted into the coms, "What do you want from us?" The answer came quick. Nothing. You scanned our pain. You looked into our mind. Now you carry it. Suddenly, every screen on Vorthzel lit up with images of other Zarnari ships. All of them. Destroyed. All of them. Floating in silence. Yalek whispered, "These are from the past." "Or the future?" "No," Rill said softly. "They're warnings." Then came the final message from the human. "I never died. I waited. For you." The camera zoomed in, and Threx saw it. The captain's veins glowing faint. Red. Not natural. His body was part machine, and his mind no longer fully human. He had become the ship. He was the war. Back on Vorthzel, the ship's lights started to flicker again. VEX-12. Their AI came back online, but now with a human voice. It said just one sentence. "The captain is in control now." Then all systems locked. Weapons offline. Engines disabled. Escape pods sealed. And the stars outside started to move. Not because Vorthzel was flying, but because Revenant was pulling it, dragging it, somewhere far away. Threx shouted, "Where are we going?" A reply came, not from their ship, but from the Revenant. "You will witness the birth of vengeance." And then a final line appeared on every screen. "Earth is dead. But I'm still here." The Vorthzel shuddered as the Revenant pulled it deeper into unknown space. The stars stretched and bent outside the windows, warping with unnatural speed. Commander Threx gripped the armrest, claws digging into the metal. His crew sat frozen, eyes wide with fear. Suddenly, every screen lit up with one message in bold red letters. "Judgment protocol engaged." Officer Yalek swallowed hard. "Protocol? What does that mean?" The AI voice no longer vexed Welv, but the Revenants echoed. "Through the ship, you scanned us. You invaded our memory. Now you will face judgment." The lights dimmed. The temperature dropped sharply. Rill coughed. "Life support is being controlled again, but now it's colder than before." Threx stood. "What kind of judgment?" The bridge speakers answered calmly. "The judgment of history, pain, and war. You will relive every choice your empire made against Earth. You will understand what we endured." Suddenly, the viewports turned opaque. The crew could no longer see stars, only flickering images. The first scene was brutal. A Zarnari fleet attacking a peaceful human colony. Explosions, screams, and fires raged. Threx felt sick. The next scene showed human survivors, broken families, hiding in ruins. Then came the hardest. The Revenant projected a live simulation. The crew themselves appeared, but twisted. Their faces were distorted by fear and regret. One by one, each member faced visions of their own darkest deeds. Yalek saw himself firing on unarmed refugees. Rill saw herself ignoring a plea for help. Threx faced a vision of himself ordering a deadly strike on innocent civilians. The voice came again. "Your empire made choices. Now you live with them." Yalek whispered, "This is mental torture." Threx clenched his jaw. "It's designed to break us." Suddenly, alarms blared. Shield breach. Incoming probes. Outside, dozens of small drone ships surrounded VOR, single quotes Zel. They scanned, probed, and harvested data. "Those drones," Rill said. "They're gathering our fears. Our secrets." The Revenant's voice laughed softly. "Fear feeds the protocol. Confess your sins." In the darkest moment, the human prisoner's voice came over the coms. "Commander Threx." Threx answered cautiously, "Who is this?" The voice was calm, but cold. "I am Elias Wren, the last captain of Revenant." "You're alive," Threx said, disbelief mixing with fear. Wren laughed. "I never died. I am judgment incarnate." He paused. "Your empire's crimes will not be forgotten. Your race will not escape the price. Threx asked, is there any way out? Ren's voice dropped. Only repentance or extinction. The ship trembled again. The Revenant was pulling them closer to a dark, swirling nebula. The voice whispered, welcome to the court of the dead. The Zarnari ship Vorthzel now floated in total silence. Behind it, the dark nebula twisted like a living wound in space, red, black, and glowing with energy no science could explain. Inside the bridge, Commander Threx stood motionless, watching. The giant structure forming ahead of them. It looked like a gate. But not made by aliens. It looked human. Rusted, cracked, covered in names carved into the steel, names of soldiers, engineers, civilians. A single message stretched across the top. The Watchers must answer. Officer Yalek whispered, we're not supposed to be here. Rill added, this place isn't just a trap. It's a graveyard of memory. Suddenly, a voice echoed again, Elias Ren. But this time, it was different. Quieter, not angry, tired. Double quotes. You built empires while we buried our dead. You built fleets while we buried ourselves. And still, you watched from your towers and called us primitive. The stars blinked out behind them. One by one, they weren't alone anymore. Dozens of human ghost ships appeared. No heat. No signals. Just presence. All shaped differently. All covered in scars. Every one of them pointed at Vorthzel. Threx reached for the coms. Captain Ren, if this is judgment, then give us a chance to change. No reply. Only this. Judgment is not revenge. Judgment is remembrance. The screens on Vorthzel flickered one final time, but this time, no war memories played. No screams. No cities. Instead, silence. A quiet earth sunset. Waves crashing on a beach. A child building a small flag in the sand. Then a deep voice spoke. This is what you destroyed. This is what you feared. The nebula pulsed. Jalik shouted, energy. Spike, sir. I think it's charging something. Threx stared. No, I think it's giving us a choice. A final message appeared. One ship may leave to tell the story, but it must carry the truth. All of it. Threx looked at his crew. Rill was crying. Yalek's hands shook. They all nodded. Threx. Open the channel. I will stay. Let the others go. I will carry the guilt. But the voice replied, you do not choose. The truth does. A light struck the bridge. Everyone was frozen. Except Rill. The system selected her, not because she was strongest, but because she remembered with honesty. She didn't deny what they'd done. She felt it. Vor. Zell shattered. Not in fire. In silence. Turned into light particles. Memories returned to the nebula. Only one escape pod drifted out, carrying Rill. Alone. She woke days later, found by a neutral scout fleet. Eyes wide, heart heavy, and beside her was a small black cube, pulsing. Inside it, the full story of what happened. The truth of the REVENAND. The judgment, and what it meant to disturb the dead. On the edge of known space, Revenant disappeared once more, its voice silent, but its presence remained in every system. Every signal, every scan. Watching. Waiting. Because once the Watchers had been judged, they were no longer safe. Now humanity was the one watching.